Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kamunabi Headquarters. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Kamunabi Headquarters. Our host, Karasu, is not here today. It is another Glow and Cal special. Woo!
Let's go.
Yeah. For some reason, Glow made the terrible mistake of handing over me the host spot today.
Okay, I literally just said, I was getting ready to do it, and I said, hey, Calcan, would you like to be the host today? For the last special, I did the hosting duties. And she was like, you know what? Yeah, let me try it. And I didn't think it was a bad idea. I mean, granted, we're only like a minute into this episode so far. We got to see how the rest of the talkings go, but I don't know. I may get kicked out of ever hosting again. It may just be Karasu and Cal can only host from now on because you guys will realize that I'm a bad host. Who knows?
I'm gonna do such a good job that it's just like, all right, you know what? Just hand me the whole thing.
You know
I'm kidding.
What? This is my podcast now.
Yeah,
yeah,
I run it.
People who work on it, yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, you're my extras.
We're not paid either. We're forced to be here, actually.
Unpaid interns.
We actually signed a contract and can't leave, fun fact.
Yeah, actually, I also, there's this whole thing that we have to do for the channel where we need someone to, keep the website in line, and so we have to take this thing that makes us get rid of our, like, organs, and we control it.
I'm on day 6 of losing
it's one
my
of us.
Small intestine.
Oh.
It literally.
Newsflash, Glow's the vessel.
Oh no.
We're not even talking about that chapter today.
No, we're not. We're talking about what are we talking about? We're talking about
94 and 95.
Yeah, 94 and 95.
I was gonna say if we steamroll and like make progress quicker than we expect, we could just try to bust out more simply for the fact that we're already behind. But I feel like with me on the host stand, we will not be busting anything out.
No, and we also talked about this as a podcast group. We have been very behind recently. We know that. Granted, it's a little bit of my fault for getting episodes edited late, but also we want everybody to be here whenever we talk about some really awesome chapters. And we're talking about the traitor reveal today, and it's a little funny. Me and Cal were talking about this earlier. We are not known as the theory crafters in the Kagurabachi space, and even on our podcast, that's really Edo and Karasu's job. So it's a little bit of a weird one for them not to be here, but we at least want them to be here whenever we talk about Izami beating the shit out of Yura. Like, that's just...
Oh, that's so fair, actually.
That's when they want to be here.
True. I forgot about that. No, I got British for a second. If I offended anybody, I'm sorry.
Everybody, leave your comments down below. Say how much Cal offended you in this episode, all right?
I offended you because I did a really bad British accent. You know what else is offensive? How do you say his name? Kazin? Kazin, damn it.
So, okay, fun. This is going to be a little Japanese lesson for you real quick. So, the Japanese vowels go a, I, u, e, o. For, of course, going a, I, u, e, o, pretty much, right? That's just how they order them. So, any syllable that has an sa or like a ka, it's sa, ka, na, fa, da. Pretty much they all have that syllable right there. Like in our host name, Karasu, ka-ra. So it's ka.
Oh.
And then it's for sin, it's a-i-u-e, se, ne, ke, be, pe. So ka, se, and then in is just n. So kasin.
Thank you for that.
Now, that's just a small Japanese lesson that I think the rest of us know because we've taken a little bit of Japanese. But yeah, if you don't know Japanese, it's really hard to sort of like understand how syllables are pronounced. But yeah, kasin is kasin. Like samura is sa-mu-ra. So.
Why call him Samura?
That's fine, like, whatever. But like, Chihiro is, so it's Chi-hi-ro. So or a, I, U, E, O, ro, chi, a, I, chi, he, e, ro. So that's how I pronounce names sometimes, whenever I'm not sure on them. But it's
Fair.
Kasen.
Kasen. My brain keeps wanting to go Kaizen, 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 because it's just one letter off.
No, that's fair.
Like, shoot.
But
Okay.
it's really just that lack of the I that makes it not his name is Jujutsu Kasen or whatever.
Literally, I'm like, it's so close. It's so close.
Nobody will care. Who really matters?
No, exactly. Not this guy. Boo.
All my homies hate Kasen.
All my homies hate him. He's a bum. Azami soloed him. But we'll get there. Chapter. Okay, so we start and we're doing a little lore dump. We're talking about spirit energy, channeling it into the swords, all the things, sword stuff, you know.
Sword stuff.
Sword stuff. We're talking about Hikari's daddy and how he transported his, well, I guess not transported, he channeled his spirit energy into the Shinuchi, right? Which in hindsight should have been foreshadowing, but I was like, oh no, Hikari's cooked, guys. Anyways, there's this one panel that I really like. This was such a bad idea. I like the panel on page 2 at the top where he says, I'm gonna use it.
Yeah, it's just a stick figure drawing, just like both arms outstretched, the centipede going around his body. I'm gonna use it, guys.
I'm gonna use it.
It's my power. It's my sword. I can do whatever I want.
I'm gonna use this. Me with the podcast. I'm gonna use it.
It's my podcast now, guys.
Arms pumped like a little child.
My podcast. My podcast.
My podcast. Dude, if you're Boss Baby, who am I?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I've not seen the Boss Baby franchise. Granted, doesn't have to pull from there.
Yeah, I haven't seen Boss Baby either.
You just thought it'd be really funny to make a PNG of Boss Baby with Jordan's Glowplasma over it.
Yeah. Alright. I haven't thought about this chapter in like a month, so I'm like, ooh. Okay.
Well, one of my favorite parts of this whole thing is literally just like Ichiki's giving this entire exposition, and like halfway through, Hakuri's just like, oh, so like, how do people like channel spirit energy in the blades and all of that stuff, right? And like, how does that even work if like the sword master's so far away from the Shinuchi, right? And Ichiki's just like, oh yeah, I mean, power's going to be used for a limited time. I just love how Ichiki just continues to just like continuously talk about all of this stuff, and Hakuri's just like, bro, I don't know what's going on here. Like, I don't get
it. Hikari is just so goofy.
He is.
He's so funny.
I really like the next part where it's just like, hey, oh, and as a strategy of like doing this whole thing, sealing up the blade, it's really like a double-edged sword with a razor-sharp edge. Like, can you not use another metaphor that's not sword-related, Hokuzoto? Like, I get what you're going for, but like...
we talk about swords enough, I'm gonna think of just sword.
Yeah, like, at least like give this sword like a name and just say like, oh yeah, there's actually this one art sword that Rokuhira forged that has like a really, it's double edged, it's got really sharp, it's called like irony or something. Like, let's just give it that name. And we're like, okay, Vertical, sure, whatever you want to do. Like, I don't know, you may have missed with naming this sword, but like, I mean, yeah, as a strategy, irony sounds a little bit weird, but like, maybe it means something different in Japanese, dude. Like, I'm not really so sure.
Rokuhira's 8th secret sword is irony.
It's actually the blade that Chihiro was supposed to wield, but instead, like, I guess irony did a few things, and now he wields Inten instead. Fun fact.
Yeah, fun fact.
It's actually secret. Hokuzono told me this himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I believe you. Me and Hokuto, my monitors
Have we
turned
lost
black
Calc?
like they
Okay.
always do. I'm back.
Okay.
My monitors did the thing where it just randomly turns off.
Awesome.
So what was it? Oh yeah, I'm pals with Hokusono too. So he didn't tell me that though.
See,
But
I actually saw him on the flight back from New York Comic Con. I was
oh
actually
really?
on that flight, yeah. I was pretty much heading to Japan for a single day. There's actually a layover in Great Britain. I don't really know what all that was about. Granted, like that doesn't make any sense because like the plane would leave from like one, but like don't think about it. You know what I'm saying? But there's actually a layover
Yeah.
there, and he told me while we were there.
Oh wow, that's
He
crazy.
said he also planned for there to be like 18 Enchanted Blades, but the Shonen Jump editorial department told him no. So, fun fact.
Dude,
And if you want to
imagine.
hear one of the names of each of the Enchanted Blades, come back to this podcast for the next however many weeks, and we'll reveal a new Enchanted Blade name every single week.
Perfect. This one was irony. And
That's
then
the
next
8th Enchanted
time.
Blade, so we have 10 more to get through, guys. So come back next week. Or no, actually, just come back to the Calcan and Glowplasma specials. That's all you need to do.
I think we continue it with everybody else now. Like, what are you talking about?
That'd be hilarious. But I don't know why you're saying continue it. Like, this is a legit thing.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? That's true. So then it'd be very appropriate to cover just all the time.
That's fair, yeah. So for
That's the real
next
thing
10
that
episodes of
Hokutono
the
told us.
Kamunabi Headquarters, get ready, everybody. Okay, back to Kagurabachi chapter 94.
Isn't it crazy that some people were on an airplane with Hokutono and like didn't even know it?
That's insane.
Like, isn't that like, I bet you all the people on the plane with him just fully wouldn't have appreciated his presence because it's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's actually,
who
he
is
was on a
this
plane
Japanese
from,
man, and why is he covered in honey? I don't, like, this
yeah,
guy's
like there's
weird.
this guy on the plane next to me, just smothered in honey. That's so weird. That's so odd.
Imagine if
Like,
you
you
were a
know,
Kagurabachi
how was he
fan,
allowed through
and
TSA?
imagine if you got the chance to sit next to Hokuzono on the plane. That would
I'm
be
trying to think of how I would even like function as a human being because I like wouldn't want to bother him.
no, but you're like, dude,
But I feel like he'd think it's cool though.
that
I would
picture
know.
with
I've
him and
talked to
all of
him
his
before.
fans would. But also, it's like, oh yeah, you speak Japanese. I'm over here going like Kagurabachi, good, you know.
Oh shit.
And it's
Yeah.
like, what do I do? Do I pull like Google Translate on my computer, just like start typing away?
I probably would, to be honest. Because I was thinking, I was like, oh, I could write. And then I'm like, wait, he wouldn't people read English either very well, probably, I'd imagine.
I mean, I'm sure he could. Like,
Like a little bit,
yeah.
but that wouldn't be a very good form of communication. Be like, oh, you can't speak English? Here, let me write it for you.
No, Cal,
Like,
I see your post on Twitter. You're like, oh, hey, I just drew this random ass character. Just like draw a quick sketch of Chihiro and just hand it to him. Like, I can be your editor, right? Or I can be your
oh,
assistant.
wait, that's kind of fun. Oh my gosh. Imagine giving Hokuzono a doodle of his own character.
And he sees you there, just like how I would do it. What I would just like put this sticky note on my screen, just like trace it out, and like Peter, he can see me doing this horrendous work here in the moment. I just hand it to him, like, big fan.
I'm sitting right next to him and he sees me pull out my like camera roll trying to find like a panel of Chihiro, which I have 40 million of. And then I'm like just prop it up on my AirPods. I'm going ham on a flashcard and he can clearly see Chihiro on my screen. Like,
Yeah, like you're sitting next to him, and he's just like looking over and just like, you know what? You just like hamstick, like I know who you are.
and dude, imagine like, cause imagine, cause he we don't know what he fully looks like. So it's like he surely wasn't wearing that mask on the plane. So it's like you wouldn't even know you're sitting next to Hokuzono. So imagine if I was drawing on a plane and Hokuzono was right next to me and I just didn't know it.
Oh gosh. You
That
would
would never happen, of course, but
on one hand you would hope he would say something just because it's like so incredibly cool, but on the other hand it's like, yeah, you want to keep your privacy. We all get that because like it's a hard thing to really think about, to be honest with you.
yeah.
All I'm saying is, Hokuzono, next time you come to the United States of America, at least the East Coast, I will be there. I'll make
No,
no
literally.
excuses. This year it was because I was starting college again. Next year, if it's midterm week, I don't care. I'm going to meet Hokuzono.
No, literally, I could have like gone if I really tried because like I'm not in school right now. I'm taking my gap semester. And so when New York was happening, literally like the only thing I had was like and I was like, why the fuck wouldn't I have tried to go? And so then literally the day before I was like, how can I get a flight to New York? And it was like $1,000 and I was like, oh, okay. But like it wouldn't have even been that bad. The only thing was is you had to pay for like a 4-day ticket because Saturday was sold out. But like I should have just done it. Like I should have just done it.
Hokuzono,
But
come back soon. I cannot
right,
say how much I will go to that meeting. Like, I will be there.
he should
Unless it is
come to
on the West
Florida
Coast.
just to make my life really easy.
Yeah,
No,
or
but West Coast is cool though. We can like take a California trip or something.
yeah, but like I've never been out that far west. Oh, fun
It's
Glowplasma
fun.
lore, but I don't know. I also would want to drive there, and oh hell no, I'm probably not driving all the way
Oh,
out to the West
driving.
Coast.
Yeah, driving that's far.
I
I
have
enjoy driving, but
Driving is like my favorite thing ever to do, besides for read manga.
that's fair.
Now, driving and reading manga is a deadly combo, but a really fun one. Don't try this at home, children.
Great idea.
I
Yeah,
have
I
I
drove to. Oh,
I have pulled over on the side of the road before to read the Kagurabachi chapter when it's coming out, because
that's the
it
realest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was driving on Interstate I-77 near where I am, and I was driving through, and there's a rest area that was coming up, and I looked down at my phone. I'm like, oh, it's 10:45. There's not a rest area for a while, and I won't have a good stand to stop. So I pulled in the rest area, sat there for like 13 or so minutes, went and used the
It is,
bathroom,
yeah.
bought a drink at the vending machine, and then I sat down and read the Kagurabachi chapter and went, oh my, I don't remember which one it was at this point. This was like, I think this was like during Rakuzaichi time,
Hell yeah.
so it was a while back, and I'm like, damn, really good chapter, and I just thought about that chapter the rest of my drive. I'm like, oh, it's such a, oh, perfection, the grenades, oh, the foreshadowing,
No,
Hokuzono, you
literally.
madman.
No, there's multiple times where my sister and I will purposely get to like locations like early, so we're certain that we're not driving during the chapter comes out if we are. Um, yeah, so that's a thing. That is
That's
so funny that you literally pulled over. That's so real.
I was just like, I really want to read this chapter, and I don't want to have to be like spoiled on it. Like, granted, I was driving. It's like I'm going to be on Twitter looking at things anyway, or at least I shouldn't be.
Yeah,
I don't do that,
true.
children. Um, but yeah, it's like I don't know. Kagurabachi's just a good time.
Yeah, there was this feels so random now because we got here from driving, but then we circled back to Bocce. But I'm gonna circle back again from me and my dad drove 17 hours simply for the purpose of wanting to try In and Out. Um, and then we ended up just staying in like Texas for like 2 days because we were, you know what I mean, like when in Rome. We went to the Bass Pro Shops Pyramid in Tennessee on the way home. And that was before I knew it was a meme, and so I should have moved it. But
That's amazing. Like, that's absolutely amazing to be like, you know what? I want to get some burgers. Come on, hop in the car.
no, literally, like my dad is he's a very spontaneous like the closest Bucky's to where I was in Ohio was like 5 hours away. And he'll randomly just drive there and back because he wants a brisket sandwich.
That sounds like me whenever I want to go to a bookstore, and my college town does not have a bookstore near me. So it's like, all right, I have four options around me pretty much to where I can drive through, and there's a Books a Million in those cities that I can go to. But they're each like an hour and a half or so away. And like just some afternoons after classes, I'll be like, I've got to get my book fixed in real quick. I'm not going to buy anything. I say that every time and then end up buying something. But I'm like, I'm not going to buy
That's so
anything. It's
funny.
not going to be a problem. And You want to know another fun
If I
fact
drove
related to
like in,
Kagurabachi?
yeah,
Every
yeah.
time a new volume has come out, I have been there on release day to one of these places an hour plus away to buy a Kagurabachi volume whenever it comes out. I have not missed one release yet.
Hell yeah.
That's how dedicated I am to this series, guys.
That's so real.
I spend way too much in gas money to buy manga.
Every single volume that's come out, I've gotten like a week and a half early.
I love that whenever they just like put the volumes out on the shelf. I love that manga's just like they don't care. Like
hmm
who
No,
cares
it
if
was
it's out
so
like a few
funny.
days early? Like whatever.
When volume one came out, it was my first trip home. Um, after living in a like after living in Florida, I went back home for like the first time since I had moved here. And I went to like my local Barnes and Noble, and it felt so good to be there. And we knew volume one was coming out in like 2 weeks or so. But like we walked in, and we were like, imagine if they had it out early. Haha. And then we were just looking and we were like, what the Because at that point we didn't know that we'd be like they'd be putting them out early because it was the first.
Yeah, no.
And so getting our grippers on that baby, it was like, oh my gosh.
No, I remember that feeling picking up that first volume in stores being like, oh, I can't believe they have it.
Right? Like, oh my gosh, it's
That
so
was
exciting.
actually the last time I was in what I sort of call my favorite Books A Million, because that's where I go to shop. It's just,
That's so real. That's so real.
but
Having a
then
favorite.
they closed it. And that was Kagurabachi was
No.
one of the last two manga volumes I bought in that Books A Million location. It it still pains me this day whenever my friend called me on the phone one day and he said like, "Hey, have you gone to the Books A Million in the mall recently?" And I'm like, "No, what's up?" And he FaceTimed me, and he has the exact screenshot of whenever I realized that it had closed down, my despondent face like,
Oh
no. Like, I was speechless for a good second there because it was like, that's literally, it was like 10 minutes from my house. I would just go there like 3 times a week, walk around, pick up some volumes, flip through them. And now I've got to go to like the big mall that's 30 minutes away. And it's like, I'm still going to do it, but it's like so much more of a hassle to go there.
no. Yeah. Damn. That is so unfortunate for you.
Yeah. It
What was
is.
the other one that you bought? You got Kagurabachi and what else?
Horimiya Volume 17.
Slay.
It's, yeah. To be fair, I have not read that volume yet, but it's still sitting on my shelf.
It's okay.
All things
I
considered,
respect that.
it was two nice volumes to sort of end off. I mean, I probably spent over $1,500 in that store, so probably for the best. But you know what? Books A Million gives you really good deals if you buy manga. Fun fact: you guys should go to Books A Million. I'm not sponsored, but
It's sponsored. It's sponsored. I'm
like
kidding.
they give you these coupons, and not only do you get 10% taken off your entire order, but $25 you can get $5 off of that. $50 you can get $10 off. So you only buy in increments of 26, 52, and 104 to get your 10% taken off along with tax, and then get the other designated amount taken off. It also works with all of these other deals like buy one get one 50% off that they do in July. So fun fact, that's how you maximize your manga spending at Books A Million.
Hell yeah. Where were we at?
Page 3.
The Glow Cal special, baby. That's the Calcan and Glowplasma difference.
I think
how did we even get there?
we were talking about sitting next to Hokuzono on a plane, I think.
Yeah. Yes, because we were talking about the sword called Irony, and then there we go.
That's right, we were.
Oh my god. I feel like, do you know that meme that's like it's just two dumbasses telling each other exactly. That's what the Glow Cow special feels like.
I'm gonna be so real, I forgot about the sort of named irony there for a second.
That is so funny. Whew.
Okay.
Okay.
Kasen and Yatsuru, that's where we should start off now.
Yes. Those are people that exist.
They
And
are.
Hiyuki to Fuku mention, let's go. Big day.
Bro, when are we going to see Tefuku again? I love that guy. I
Honestly,
want
I
to see
love
more
him
of him.
too. I love him too.
Mainly, I just love like his nonchalant attitude because, like, yeah, Hyuki's going through using Flamebone, firing a bunch of people up pretty much, and Tefuku's just like, I mean, do what you're gonna do, man. Like, I don't know.
He's so chill like that.
We all need a friend like Tefuku.
No, he's such like a Hiyuki enabler. It's great.
He's like, that's a really good way to put it, actually. So, what's your job to
I support
Kamunabi?
it.
I'm actually a Hyuki enabler. Fun fact. It was a
Yeah, it's
job that
a
I specifically made up, but I do it.
that is so goofy. I miss the Fuku as well.
We'll see you soon, my friend.
So true.
Hopefully,
Dude,
he
if he
just
pulls up
appears
with
with Hyuki. I'm guessing.
Surely, I feel like they're a package deal, so he's probably with Shiba and them and just not mentioned, I would hope. Because, like, where else would he be?
Yeah, because the way I sort of thought it, I mean, I forget if it's this chapter where Ichiki tells some like random sorcerer guy like, "Hey, call them back." I actually think it's chapter 96 where this happens, but it sort of implies that Hyuki and Shiba are each protecting two of the other sword bears. So the pink bear, who is still unnamed, and then Subaru, who works at a sushi shop pretty much. Presumably that's where Hyuki and Shiba are, but we really have no idea.
Well, I think they said before, like, a million chapters ago, that they were assigned to security for.
Yeah, because that was whenever we
Yeah.
had the whole Hibiki mess up with
Yes. Oh my
Hyuki's
gosh, that
name.
was so long ago.
That was like whenever we had just started the podcast, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, I think the first podcast episode we did was on Izami getting ready to fight down Samurai Shaku, now known as Hokuto's puppet. And
Oh
then
my
and then
gosh.
that was a few
Wow.
chapters later whenever we did the
The whole
because that
movie
was
thing.
whenever oh, what's his name? Kugiri used his Crimson Wave sorcery or whatever it was, or Twilight Wave.
Yes, yes.
It was that chapter. I remember that being pretty early on, I think. I have all of the power to go check, and I'm going to do it.
Nice. Free will.
I have that. I hope.
You hope you have free will, as if we didn't spin off for like 15 minutes talking about airplanes.
You never know.
Free will it's a beautiful thing.
Amazing thing.
It is.
Okay. So it's not episode 4. I don't remember what episode that was. Because 80 was whenever we started following Hawkery around. You know what? I don't know. We're going to
That's
Kansas
so
there.
fair. I
Um,
was really good at like chapter numbers when I only had like 15 videos, but now I have like a million, and now they get jumbled in my head again.
I still say sometime I'm going to sit down and do a video where I try to name every single Kagurabachi chapter from memory.
Yeah, I feel like that's such a good idea. That's fun.
I think, I don't know. I think we do it at like chapter like 110 or something, I think is when I do it.
Slide.
Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
That's fun. All right.
But yeah, Kasen and Yatsuru,
Um,
they're pretty much the
yes.
other two main three leaders of the Kabunabi. Kasen is the old guy with the orb on his head, who we have seen plenty of times as like the leader of the Kabunabi, and Yatsuru is the woman of the group. I mean, it's what she is pretty much.
Token girl,
Um,
token girl.
so she's the woman of the group, and she's the one who is also part of the main three, along with Ichiki, pretty much. And the whole idea is the only people who can seal the Shinichi are those top 3 there, which is Ichiki, Kasen, and Yatsuru, pretty much, right? And he pretty much explains, like, hey, apart from Hyuki and Defuku, since Rakuzuichi, we 3 are the only people who have interacted with the blade, so if there's anything happening with the Shinichi, it's pretty much one of our fault, pretty much, right? So Ichiki pretty much goes through and explains all of this various stuff here, and eventually Hakuri, like, looks over to Izami and just says, like, hey, man, but Kudo said, like, you're the strongest fighter, because Izami also just said something about, like, hey, how Yatsuru, Kasen, and Ichiki are, like, the most powerful sorcerers in the Kamunabi, and Izami pretty much explains, like, Kudo probably meant that I'm a very strong fighter, but physically I'm a bit younger than the rest of this group, and as a sorcerer, I'm not really all that cut out, pretty much, right? And he sort of understands, like, they're all scholars, they've mastered a whole lot of that library and all of that other various stuff, which is pretty good to know, the whole idea of, like, hey, we're getting more in-depth to, like, what it means to be, like, an academic sorcerer versus a non-academic sorcerer, which I think is pretty neat.
Izami's a liar.
Yeah, as we'll literally see here in, like, 2-3 chapters, this man is just full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, sure, man, like, you can, like, I understand you're trying to be humble and cool here, but, like, come on, we all know what you're made of.
Especially because he was like, yeah, like, on a fighting standpoint, sure, but, like, yeah, sorcerers, they're better. Literally, he was born into a family of sorcerers, of literal doctors.
Like, yeah, we'll get into in the next podcast episode, but, like, come on, Izami, like, why are you lying to us here? Are you need to be like that edgy and cool that you gotta lie about your background, pretty much? Like, no, I was born from the fires of the mountains. My sorcery was stolen at birth. I had to learn like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here?
I think he's selling himself short. My husband needs to be more confident.
Oh boy. But with that, pretty much, eventually Ichiki gets to the whole idea of, like, hey, the Hashaku being as reckless as they currently being, attacking our headquarters and doing all this stuff, really only makes sense if they have, like, a very powerful ace card up their sleeve. And he pretty much just says, like, hey, my worry is that one of the 3 of us that were pretty much the top brass who sealed the Shinichi could be colluding with the Hashaku, right? Pretty much saying, like, hey, one of us could have altered the seals, weakening in the midst of the chaos, for example. Or it's possible that Hashaku are simply just being really reckless and don't really have a long thought-out plan. However, it's the Hashaku, the people who murdered Kunishige. I don't really find it easy to believe that my suspicions there are unfounded, pretty much. And that's Ichiki's whole thing that he says there.
He's spitting facts.
He is. Sorry, I thought you had something probably to say there, so I was just like, I'll pause for a second.
No, I know, I exactly. And then, but it's just like, it's a cheeky, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm so used to him, like, being a traitor in my brain that it's hard to get out of that mindset.
Yeah, you don't want to associate with him.
Yeah, it's like, you know, he's still like the little gremlin in my brain, and then he's chill like he's low-key chill like that. I like him.
He sort of is, like,
especially when when Azami was giving him the shoulder. Oh, okay. So, like, he's just silly goofy. I like this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the shoulder ride was great.
As somebody who has never really thought Ichiki was the traitor, it's sort of funny to be like, oh yeah, everybody's finally, like, understanding the same thing I felt the entire time. I'm like, yeah, he's just a guy, guys. Like, there is nothing weird about him. He simply just knows what he's talking about, is very smart. That sort of is what it is, all things considered. It's very fun to see people finally.
I was gonna say, he's just a smart person.
Yeah, like.
No, literally, when that theory was unraveling, I was like, okay, guys, so I might have been wrong. And it turns out Ichiki's probably just, like, good at his job. Isn't that crazy?
So are we saying that all smart people are evil?
Yes.
Fuck. Damn
it. Why, you know any smart people?
Oh no, I'm in the honors college. What does that mean about me? I'm the evilest guy around.
He's so evil. He's so evil.
Actually, this is no longer the Glowplasma Calcan special. It's just a Glowplasma special. This is my podcast now.
No,
this has been my evil plan this entire time.
Shit. And that's why
You
you're the
fell
best
right
soul
into
too.
my trap.
No, no. I'm gonna hit
But
you with a sorcery I'm making up now. I'm not sure.
well,
What
we'll give you
sorcery would I
time to
have?
think about that. Because speaking of evil people, as Ichiki and the gang get out of the elevator, we see the room with the Shinuchi in front of it, and standing there is none other than Kasen. And we also see that Hakuri is also wearing the storehouse mask, which means that he's getting ready to do something, presumably, right? There's this whole conversation that Ichiki and Kasen have. It's pretty much like, hey, as planned, Hakuri's getting ready to transport the Shinuchi, and Kasen's just like, no, he's not, pretty much. Like, nah, he
Yeah,
won't.
no. He said, "Nah, he won't."
He's like, nah, I'll win. Like,
No, literally. Nah, the Swordmaster will win.
nah, the Swordmaster will win is crazy. Um,
And it's like, no, and then Ichiki's just like, uh,
Ichiki's face is just like, brother, what?
he's like, shit.
Like, dude, like, because,
It was
like, of
supposed to be
course,
me saying this. That was my line. What are you?
like, we get the whole idea here in the moment. Like, Ichiki's, like, put two and two together. Oh my gosh, Kasen's the traitor. That's insane, pretty much, right? But I'm sure me and Cal will give all of our thoughts on the traitor stuff after we finish these chapters here real quick. But
Yeah.
moving through it, Hokuto and Natsuki continue to just go through and fight each other. There's sort of one-on-one battle there. We then look over, Yora and Aruha are fighting all back and forth pretty much, right? And it's this whole idea to where eventually Hokuto's like, oh, is the battle over then? And he sort of slips out of the way, leaving just Natsuki and Aruha left to fight Yura. And Yura does some like crazy movement where he just almost like teleports out of the way, and he pretty much goes up and grabs both Aruha and Natsuki by their throats pretty much, right? And he's holding Aruha in his left hand and Natsuki in his right hand. And both of them are just like, what is this? His movement's just like skyrocketed. Where does all this strength coming from? As we come back upstairs to wherever currently, or no, this is actually downstairs, down the elevator. Let me get my directions right here.
Wait, I noticed something.
Oh, what did you
So
notice?
when Yura like slams both of them down,
Yeah.
first off, lucky man. Second,
Which one's more
it's like
lucky?
the mm,
The one in the right hand or one in the left hand?
well, I was more so saying that Yura is lucky to have them both like
Ah,
by the neck,
I understand.
but also like in that case, it's like I mean you can't really do like the which one would I rather be because it's like he's holding both of them, so it's like I mean Yura's pretty hot too though, so like Natsuki and Aruha are both lucky as well. All around great stuff. Anyways, what I noticed um, the panel's on the left of that page, and there's like the internal monologues of like Natsuki's like what his movements suddenly like whatever, right? And then the bottom is Aruha's mind being like his strength also suddenly skyrocketed, also as in like in addition, and so it's kind of set up to where they were like thinking like the same exact thing like in sync of like because it's like one of them started the thought and then Aruha finished the thought.
No, that is very fair.
And
I
I
didn't
love
even
that.
read it like that, but they're just so in sync. They're best buds.
They are. They literally are. She would hate if he heard you say that, but it's true. It's literally true. They're besties.
They just are. Like, you can't read this situation and see they're not besties. Like,
No, right? Dude, they're such a good duo.
they're great. I love Natsuki and
It's
Aruha.
so good.
We've had them
They're
for like,
so good.
we haven't even had them for like 10 chapters, but I would do anything for these two.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Lo, you get me. You
I
get
get
me.
it. They're just good like that.
They are.
But cutting back downstairs where Kasen, Ichiki, and the rest of the group is, we see that some spirit energy is now flowing out through a little bit of a crack in the bonds of the Shinuchi. And pretty much was like, oh, what is that? But the seal is intact with the blade. Why is there spirit energy pouring out from the seal? Like, I don't get it. What's going on here, pretty much, right? And pretty much Ichiki just like goes through the whole idea. Well, if one of the three of us at the time was currently messing with the seal while the rest of us were doing the blade and they could cover it up, and he's like, no, I don't believe it. And he just sort of like looks at Kasen like, but that tactic could actually. And we now get this whole idea where Yura pretty much explains his whole mastermind plot. Like, I charged the Shinuchi with my spirit energy right before I submitted it to the Rakuzaichi. During the Rakuzaichi, I had to figure out who was in control of the Shinuchi. I found out it was the Sword Master, and I also needed to know if I could seize temporary control of the blade, and Kiora showed me that. However, we know that using the blade like that is pretty much equal to suicide, and we know this, but Kiora also proved that it's worth attempting with a level of unparalleled determination, pretty much, right? As we see the Sword Saint stand up, he says the words Magatsumi, and here in the moment, we just see that Yura is not particularly taken over, but he is gaining the abilities of the Magatsumi here in the moment. We see the centipede sort of flowing around him, and also we see that he's holding Aruha. Now he's holding him by his right hand. Hokuzono made a little bit of a mess up with the art here, but we see like vines are like sprouting out of his veins. It's honestly a really cool design, I think. Like, just let's see like the veins popping in his hands, but they're actually just vines coming out. I think it's really cool.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool.
And pretty much Yura just says like, hey, I told you this right now is a battle to the death. With this power, we will overthrow you. His eyes have also once again gone completely dark like the Swordmaster's eyes. And the final image we see is a Kyoto Bloodshed Hotel and crow feathers falling from the sky. Dun dun da 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 da.
Mic drop.
Chihiro, Samura, they're coming. I don't believe it.
And then it's been like 4 chapters, still not there, and probably still won't be there.
Well, is it next chapter? Or no, I think it's a chapter out of that. I think it's chapter 96, where we sort of understand, like, oh, there's a barrier up currently. Or was it 97? I don't remember. We know why they can't get into the Kamunabi HQ, and it seems like it's going to be a really fun way to make it to where they can't get in quite yet. So,
yeah.
Hokuzono, good writer. All I can say.
Always, yep. So, I think this chapter was so good, always is. Glow, do you have any final thoughts on the chapter?
Honestly, not really. You did a really good job covering it there. Mainly, my favorite part of it probably has to just be, like, everybody standing in the elevator while Ichiki's just giving this Lord Hump and Hawker, and everybody else is like, bro, what are you doing here? But honestly, just a really cool action dynamic chapter going through, seeing Yura, like, grab both of these people by the neck, and it's just a really cool thing, and I do like Yura's whole idea of, like, I'm going to be using the Shinichi. It's legitimately a twist I did not expect to see, and to see it happen, I think it's just really cool and awesome. Like, I really don't have too much to say. Hokuzono, you never miss.
Literally.
Besides for what we're about to talk about. Besides for that, you
only miss. A little bit. And I think all of this Yura stuff makes up for it too, because the way that all unfolded, because for so long we were like, okay, what's the deal? Because like, how is he doing all that? Because his eyes were going black like 10 chapters ago, and we were all like, so how is that possible? And everyone was like, oh, he's related to like what? Did my mic cut out?
It did cut out. But
yeah, I saw my circle disappear, and I was like, ah! No, but the fact that everyone was like, oh, he must be related, like, to the Swordmaster, blah, 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 Shikoku, all these things, and it just turns out there's, like, a way, like, better explanation of just he put his spirit energy into the sword. Like, I think that makes so much sense. It's a very simple explanation that's like why didn't I think of that? Because we literally, I mean, we didn't have terms for it or anything, but like, or I guess an explanation for it, but like Kiora did do the same thing, and we know that was part of their plan the whole time. And now it's like suddenly making a lot of sense of why that would even be in their plan. So I think the whole setup for that is really good in the sense of like it was more simple than a lot of people expected, but it's just so well written and makes so much sense that it works really great.
No, for sure. And like, I'm still under the mindset. I think Yura is from Shikoku. Like, I think that's
Probably.
his homeland, and for some reason the Sword Saint just really doesn't like Shikoku. He's racist. He's whatever he is, and just says like, no. I don't like this place. I'm going to completely destroy it. And it's pretty much Yura using the power that devastated his homeland to now devastate the person who devastated it, pretty much. I know makes no sense, those words probably do, but I think you guys probably get the point. But
No, I think I got the point across.
I really do think Yura is from Shikoku, and that's why he sort of cares so much, is what I'm going to say. Like, because if he isn't, like, what's his goal in all of this? Like,
yeah, no, I agree with that. I think he probably is, but I think that's because people were using that as an explanation of like how he could use the Shinuchi and trying to. My monitor's turned off again. God damn it!
you didn't cut out the dime. I don't know.
Sorry, my monitor's the thing again.
No, you didn't cut out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were fine.
Oh,
that
damn.
The world.
I don't know. No, but people were trying to like use that as like oh yeah, he can use the swords because of sorry, he could use the Shinuchi because of it's like, well, that doesn't make much sense. And so then it's like he probably is from Shikoku, but then also like he has like an act. This is how I'm using the sword, and it's like that makes a lot of sense. There's no like ass pull like dumb logic. It's just it just actually just is good.
It just checks out, and I mean that's what we really are looking forward to do, and having it do that is it's just written very well, and the way that Hokuzono sort of turned this whole thing around, it really works, like legitimately.
Yes. Agreed. All right, so now we are on chapter 95, which is another very exciting chapter because it's Kagurabachi. Good stuff going on.
So we start off this chapter with a good old color page. It's really neat because we see like not only like Kunishige's eye in the background looking at 3 of his enchanted blades, of course, the Tobimune, Kumayori, and Inten, but we also see the reflections of the 3 current wielders of all of those blades, as well as they're all sort of like going and focusing in like one singular point where they're all like scraping against each other. It's honestly a really cool panel. And just like a beautiful color page that I guess now we need to address the big elephant in the room. This is the first of 2 Kagurabachi chapters where Hokuzono was very much overworked. Not only did he have this color page to draw, he had another color page to draw for next issue, which was a double-page spread. He had the entire magazine cover of Weekly Shonen Jump. He did this art swap with Horikoshi where he drew Deku from My Hero Academia. And what else was he doing, Cal? Like, Hokuzono was doing a lot. Did I miss anything?
It was the cover of the magazine.
The 2 color pages.
2 color pages. There was the Burger King collab.
Oh, yeah, the Burger King collab. That was a big one where did he draw many new assets for that?
I mean, he drew at least 3.
Oh, yeah, because, like, Chihira's just eating a burger. I remember that, yeah.
And Hakuri eating a burger and Hiyuki eating a burger.
That's right. But yeah, so he went through and drew all of these various things, and pretty much that led to this chapter number 95 of Kagurabachi, and the next chapter number 96, really having a lot of rough art inside of them, which sort of sucks, but it will be fixed for the volume release. But all I can say is Hokuzono, this man needs to take a break soon, just like rest and recover. Like, at the time we're recording this, chapter number 97 has already come out, and that chapter looks completely fine, but like,
yeah,
all things considered, like, come on, Hokuzono, we want you to take a break.
Yeah, he just deserves it. Like, he deserves one.
Like,
yeah, and like this new chapter was up to standards again or whatever. Even then, the sketchy like style, like the unfinishedness of like the 95 and 96 don't really bother me that much. But
I mean, they don't bother
I mean,
me, but they sort of do take me out of, like, reading the chapter, because it's like, oh, what is that
yeah, because then
supposed
you're
to be?
noticing, like,
And, which isn't a problem, like, I get why it happens, but to be fair, like, every time Hokuzono has taken a break, he's given us a full drawn chapter of Sojo instead, so, like,
yeah.
we need the holiday season to come faster so Hokuzono can get his, like, 2 weeks off or whatever.
Yeah, so he can, like, actually take a break.
I'm sure even though Wise taking a break, he's just, like, still writing down ideas, like his pen is still on fire writing on the page.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, I'm sure as a creative of his level, there's no way you aren't thinking about your story constantly. Like,
Constantly? Yeah.
like, I'm in a TV script writing class right now, and I have to, like, storyboard my own story and, like, write it out for, like, a full 60-minute television episode. And, like, whenever I'm not thinking about Kagurabachi or, like, making videos, like, that is all I think about. And I only imagine
That's so fair.
if you have a story in Weekly Shonen Jump of all things, like, I can only imagine the even more pressure on. And, like, Hokuzono gets, like, 2 hours of sleep. Like, I'm sure whenever he's dreaming, it, like, haunts his dreams of, like, Sojo is just there laughing at him.
He'd probably be happy if Sojo was in his dreams.
Maybe that's why he just keeps drawing Sojo. Maybe Sojo left his dreams after he killed him, and he's trying to find that joy back in his life again, get Sojo back in his brain.
You can tell how much he loves Sojo. It's so funny. He's so real for it, too.
I can't wait till we do the special episode where we cover that chapter, because it's going to be a good time. But
the chapter's so funny.
It's so good. But either way, we start off this chapter with a little bit of narration pretty much explaining that families like the Sazanami clan exist really all over Japan. And we get this really cool dotted map of, like, just the island of Japan and, like, all of these, like, white circles on it, sort of just, like, showing the locations of some of these other families. And we just get explained, like, hey, until recently, sorcery was not known by the public, but after the Seitai War 18 years ago, sorcerers became aware to the public and their activities pretty much intensified. And thus, the Kamunabi was born to bring order to all of the sorcerers over this country, right? And Kasen just explains, like, hey, we were an agency meant to be an established group of sorcerers to control all the other rogue sorcerers. And we were strong, but we were really cobbled together, and we didn't really have any alliance with each other. We were just told to do a job, and thus we were doing it. And because we were this sort of, like, brand new force, all of the other lineages didn't particularly care about us. They were just doing whatever we saw fit, pretty much, right? And if we told them to do something, what were we going to do? Fight them? So they didn't care, pretty much, right? Which I think is a very interesting way to look at it, right? And Kasen just explains, like, hey, the fact that the Rakuzaichi was able to exist is just proof that we weren't able to fully do anything about it. He sort of says the phrase, it sort of shows how limited our reach really is. And pretty much, Kasen goes on this long rant that I think is a very good one, so I'm probably going to read out most of it unless you detest Cal.
No, it's fine. Do whatever you want.
So he pretty much explains, like, hey, I believe that if we had the ability to bring all of those powerful clans under our umbrella, we could establish true law and order. But those lineages will never bend to lukewarm threats. And that's why we need an all-powerful weapon. In other words, the enchanted blades. And Ichiki pretty much explains, like, hey, we've been over this, like, we beat that horse to death right after the war. The Shinuchi is the enchanted blade caused the malediction, the biggest calamity of all time. And here is where Kasen really brings up his point, as he just says, but the Shinuchi didn't commit that violation. It was all of the Sword Master's volition. We should execute the Sword Master and establish a new bearer to harness this sword's power. And
that voice you're putting on.
Thank you. And Ichiki just says, like, hey, it was the Sword Master's crime that ended up doing the malediction, but the Enchanted Blade actively executed it. So the Enchanted Blade is also to blame. So sort of Kasen is saying, like, the Enchanted Blade is fine. It was the Sword Master's fault. However, Ichiki is saying, no, both of these two factors came together and produced this atrocity pretty much, right? So here's where they mainly don't agree. And then they go into this whole thing of, like, hey, the depths of what these swords were capable of was not even known to Rokuhira. We cannot rule out the possibility of another malediction. And I really find this interesting, is like, even if Rokuhira didn't know the power of the blades, what is the likelihood that we could see the other enchanted blades unlock an extremely powerful true realm, like what the Magatsumi and the Shinuchi is currently doing with the malediction? Sort of just an idea I had, because,
Oh
like,
shit.
granted, we know that, like, hey, the other 5 enchanted blades aren't necessarily up to snuff to Shinuchi, but, like, we really don't know where Inten stands in all of this. So, like, does or could Inten have a power on par with the malediction at some point? Like, a final thing that Chihiro has to use to pretty much, like, win the main day? I was just like, that could be something possible, because, like, Rokuhira doesn't know everything about the blades he created, so it could be an option.
And also, my monitor's turned off, so they might. Oh, it's still working. Okay.
Yeah, you just cut
Another
out.
thing, because you said that, and I hadn't. Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that, because you brought that up, and I was like, wait, that's really good, because I never thought about. Um, Another thing is just like, yeah, like the Shinuchi was able to pull something like that off, but like, could the even any of the other blades like even possibly unlock something like that? Because like you said, like N10 for sure we know like yeah, what are the limitations on that sword? But even then, like if someone is just so in touch with their blade, would they be able to somehow unlock like a fourth thing? I don't think it's entirely impossible,
And
even though it's like technically built different.
And I know you have not seen this series, Cal, but Bleach is sort of another Shonen Jump series. It's all built around the power of swords. And this isn't really much of a spoiler if you ever decide to check out that series, but each blade, or they call them Zanpakuto, have pretty much 3 levels to how powerful they are. They have their like base level where they look like a regular sword, and then they have this sort of upgraded form called a Shikai, where it gains like this more interesting ability and it sort of changes its shape into something more. Like one of the characters has a sword that pretty much turns into ash, right? One of them has a sword that turns into like this fish hook that makes things way more, pretty much, right? And our main character just gets like a butcher's knife, pretty much, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then all of the blades from that point have a third power called a Bankai, which is like the most powerful the blade can ever be and like its main big ability. But not a whole lot of people can reach that level. Like the really powerful captains of the squads in that series can, but most of like the regular rank and file can't even muster up a Shikai pretty much. Like they're not that powerful. So it sort of reminds me of this whole idea of like if the malediction is, to go in Bleach's terms, the Bankai of the Shinuchi, then can the other swords attain to that level eventually if the wielder is in the right state of mind, if they're determined enough? Like, anything could legitimately be possible because even Rokuhira did not know what he was making. And I think that's the most interesting part of this chapter right here, is just this whole idea of we can't rule out the possibility of another malediction. And yeah, it could be with the Shinuchi, but it also could be with one of the other swords.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if
That is
Karasu
an
or Edo were
interesting
here,
concept.
they would be like, no, we know why that won't work. And oops, who would have thought?
No, but I feel like that's kind of cool though, because I feel like even if there's specific like rules or whatever set in place, the Shinuchi clearly was able to go above and beyond. And I feel like anything could technically be possible just with how in tune you are.
Like,
I
yeah,
think, but
maybe it was just like, I want to murder an entire civilization of people, and that's what let the Sword Saint unlock this power, pretty much. Like, maybe if Chihiro's like, oh, everybody is dying around me, I need to protect these people, maybe he can unlock a greater power. Like, it's typical shonen stuff right there, but there's a
yeah,
reason why it keeps happening as shonen, because it's tried and true, and it works really well.
not to gas my goat as well, but Loki, with how like in touch Hirohiko is already with, and like I feel like the next time we see him, he's just going to be going absolutely bonkers because of everything that happened before. I feel like he is absolutely somebody who is just because he's so naturally like just was able to use the sword so insanely well
Oh yeah,
after
he's like,
for such
he's
a
just
short amount of
gifted.
time.
Like, There's
Yes.
no other way to put it.
Yeah, that I think there'd be potential there for something like that as well.
No, I think it's just
Maybe
awesome.
not a
I
whole
can't
ass
wait.
malediction, but
Yeah, I cannot wait until we see more of Hirohiko. It's going to be an awesome moment whenever we do, and we see
real.
whenever he has paid off all of his abilities that he's been working for this far, pretty much. I think it's going to be an awesome moment.
I'm so excited for all that. I love Hirohiko so much. He's so cool.
But either way, at this point, Kasen then has this whole idea of like, hey, that's why we contain the enchanted blades and establish an education system to cultivate our successors, pretty much. We have a long road ahead of us, but even if we don't leave to see it, human beings should be able to build a peaceful world. And pretty much he says, like, hey, that's what the Kamunabi agreed on 18 years ago. However, we cannot rule and create that world with our current approach. And that's why we need all of these enchanted blades. And Kasten just continues to go on like, hey, a few agreed with me back then, but I harbored that convocation in secret and maintained my position here as leader. All for this day, where we can finally begin to establish order with the enchanted blades. And Ichiki's like, hey, what do you mean, like conspiring with all those thugs while professing all these lofty ideals? But he pretty much says like, hey, I'm prepared to make as many sacrifices for a brighter future, including my pride, including the lives of the sword bearers who will die when the sword master does, and including Rokuhira's life, and including all of you who resist me today. As we just see Kasen holds up two fingers in front of his face, getting ready to use his sorcery. And we see Hakuri like brace and getting ready for all this attack here. But yeah, this really just confirms that Kasen is the traitor of the Kamunabi, which I don't necessarily know. Like, I sort of know how you feel about this, Cal, being that we've talked in like our Discord for planning the show and everything before. But
Yeah.
this isn't necessarily a reveal I was too happy with, to be completely honest with you. It was sort of the one thing that I thought was going to happen and that I was hoping wasn't going to happen. And if you can believe me, guess what happened?
The thing that you wouldn't have wanted to happen, which is crazy because it's Kagurabachi.
I know. I'm not going to get into it too much, but as you all know, I have had this theory for a while. Kudo is the traitor. And really, the reason I like that theory so much is because it's this character who we have meaning for being the traitor. Not to say that, like, Kasen's motivation here at the moment, it makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, is it the sword that kills the person, or is it the person who uses a sword that kills the person? Who is at blame here, pretty much? And while that is a nice motivation, it would have been nice to know this before and have Kasen more built up and maybe have a little bit more foreshadowing showing like, hey, this is what Kasen knows. This is maybe how he thinks to lead us to this whole idea of, oh, Kasen is the traitor. Like, Cal, I know, for instance, your biggest theory was like, hey, Ichiki is the traitor. And why did you want to think that? It was because it was a character who we had established and that who we already knew pretty much. And that's what I wanted it to be Kudo, because like, oh, he dies, he disappears, goes off somewhere, he reappears, and oh, I'm the traitor. It's my mastermind planned all along, Hawker. You were just part of it. I was leading you through, trying to distract you, make everybody else think I was dead. And that's sort of where I was going with it. Mm-hmm. But what do you think about this?
Honestly, I agree with you that it is a bit underwhelming that it's a character that we didn't really have like an insane foundation for. At the same time, on a fundamental level, the explanation makes sense. Like I said, I wish it was built up a little more. But then at that point, it could get to the point where it's just, like, obvious. So at least this was, like, you wouldn't have even, like, expected who it was, because he wasn't even in, like, the original panel of, like... Granted, I mean, people kind of took that and run it and were like, oh, like, he specifically chose to put these 4 people in this panel of who could possibly be the traitor, knowing the location, right?
And also,
so I can't blame everybody for taking that and running with it.
Maybe they only knew that whenever they hid him away. Like, that's not saying that, like, over the years, somebody could have slipped up and been like, oh yeah, I'm going to Rokuhira's manor on Mount wherever it is, and then Kasen's like, oh, that's where he lives. Let me send that information to the Hishaku. Like, there could have easily been just, like, a slip-up like that.
Yeah, and then even then, like, it would make sense for, like, the leader he is at. But yeah, there's also chance of a slip up, totally. I actually joked about that in my video.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember that. Like,
someone accidentally being like, oops, my bad. No, but,
oopsie daisy.
so, like, I think it makes sense. It's just more so it wasn't anyone that we expected because with the way that's, like, framed, I don't know. I guess maybe it's just, like,
And here's
the
the thing.
disappointment more from, like, just it's because we didn't really know who the character was, so it makes the reveal feel underwhelming.
And all things considered, I don't think this is like a bad reveal. Like, definitely during the moment, I was a little like more like, oh, this, I don't like this that much. And I even taught my video that, and I got a lot of backlash for that because a lot of people are like,
Really?
I think you just cared about it too much. And I'm like, to be fair, yeah, I think I was building up this idea in my mind, and it didn't end up happening that way. And it sort of is what it is there. Like, I'm not super upset. I also think it would be a way different story if Kasen wasn't built up in this chapter to have this as strong of a motivation as he does. Because, like, if Kasen was just like, nah, Hishaku equal good, Kamunabi equal evil, go, whoo, pretty much, like, I don't think, like, that wouldn't have been a good motivation. It would definitely been like, Hokuzono, like, what were you trying to do here, right? But being that
Yeah.
Kasen has this whole, like, theology sort of like planned out. This is how he thinks. He wants to ensure that like the world is a better place and that we are able to control all of these sorcerers so there's not any pretty much big extraneous threats. It makes perfect sense, like legitimately.
Yeah.
So sort of just to see him in the moment give this rationale, it really works wonders in my opinion, even though
For sure.
at the same time I sort of feel like, oh, I mean, I'm still not the biggest fan of this. It's a whole lot better than just him having a very lackluster motivation.
For sure. I really think it's also just like I think for me it's kind of like a I mean like I wasn't like fully like extremely disappointed in the moment or anything, but it is oh man, like that wasn't really all we thought it was like built up to be, the whole traitor thing, but at the same time it's like I think in hindsight it's like well, maybe it really just wasn't that deep. You know what I mean? Like maybe it wasn't supposed to be crazy as a thing as like a lot of us made it out to be, which I mean just the way it was set up you would think, but you know what I mean? We all are so invested in what we like, and so then it's like we kind of get ideas built up in our head of how something like should be, so then it's different and it's like, oh. So in
No,
hindsight I've started to like it more, but at the same time it does make sense of like yeah, that kind of is random a little bit. You know what I mean?
I think you really put it well there of just saying it wasn't
Thank
what it
you.
was meant to be, and we as fans just we care too much about it. Like that's simple as it is. Like I'm pretty sure to a casual reader, like what are they gonna care? Like okay, cool, it's in our reveal. It's just in our chapter of Kagurabachi. But for us people who are actively sitting down making videos on the series and like getting up way too early in the morning to sit down and record a podcast on it, we care, I think, a bit too much about it, which leads to our more heightened disappointment and more visceral reactions whenever something happens that we weren't necessarily expecting. And I really think that's what's happened here for this reveal. And just like you, at this point, I don't care anymore. Like, yeah, it is what it is. At the moment, I didn't think it was all I wanted it to be. But now, like, we're going to get to the next panel, and as soon as Kasen, like, holds up his fingers to start casting a sorcery, Izami comes in and clobbers the dude in the face. Like, it's what we wanted. Like, what can I say? This
Yeah.
is what I've been waiting for, to see this guy get punched in the skull. So,
Yup.
it's just, like, good catharsis for the moment. And it sort of, like, takes you out of that. Like, oh, wait a second. Now Izami's fighting. Who cares about the traitor reveal anymore? And I want to see Izami be badass, pretty much. And,
Yup.
I mean, I really don't have too much else to say about traitor reveal. Do you?
Um, not really.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I really feel bad that Karasu and Edo can't be here because, like, I know they would have so much to say on this, but
Probably. I think we did a good job. And then also with the swords, we kind of did theory talk.
we
Look at us
did.
go.
They should be
We
proud of
did. Look
that.
at us go. Right? Yeah.
But I also do love that in the panel, we sort of see, like, we see Izami's progress coming towards Kasen. Like, we see he's standing behind Kiri and Hakuri, and then we see he's getting closer to Kasen, and then we just see this panel. his face is smacked in. He's up against a wall. It's shattered. And, I mean, it's really funny, like, not only in this chapter, but, like, through the next, like, 3 or 4 chapters. I say 3 or 4. We've only had 2 more chapters come out. We just see Kasen still in this exact same position, just, like, dead on the wall almost. It's really funny.
Azami rocked his shit.
He really did. But Azami just is like, hey, all right, Mr. Ichiki, you go ahead and interrogate him. He should know the location of every Hishaku sorcerer, pretty much, right? And Azami starts to walk away. He hops in the elevator, and Ichiki's like, hey, where are you going, Azami? And he's like, oh, I'm going to kill their leader. Bro, Izami just knows how to do that aura farming, as the kids call it these days.
Yup.
He just walks out, I'm going to go kill their leader, and we're all just like, golf clap, you can do it, I know you can.
Right?
Like, let's go to it. But
Azami is so cool.
He is. He's such a good character.
He really is. I think he's awesome.
But at this point, we continue to see that, like, oh my gosh, Yura is holding Natsuki and Aruha by their necks again. And I also like in this panel, they have switched positions once again. Now Natsuki is in the left hand and Aruha is in the right hand. So, like, okay.
That's really funny.
But Yura pretty much goes through, tosses them behind his back, and, like, they sort of, like, brace themselves as Yura's head is really just, like, starting to hurt. Like, he's putting up his hands all around his temples and everything. He's like, man, to think that Kiora was able to manage this and, like, even with severe head injuries from, like, head to toe pretty much, right? And he's just, like, dealing with all of this, like, trauma and power in the moment. We see Hokuto off in a corner as he's just, like, holding up a blockade of library books. Either way, we see that Hokuto is leaning underneath a bunch of these library books, and he sort of, like, just holds his arm up and, like, oh, well, it's time to get to work. And this is legitimately the last we see of Hokuto for a while. Like, man just disappears.
Yeah.
I think these are his only 2 panels in this chapter, even, like.
Yeah, he hasn't been as prevalent in these.
It legitimately went from a 2v2 to now a 3v1. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But also, you know, maybe for reveal we get here in a few chapters of, I mean, we even made the joke about it earlier, like, who is the vessel? Maybe this gives credence to Hokuto being it, maybe, but that's for next episode of the podcast. Come back next week. Come back next week to check out that one, pretty much, right?
That's what people have been saying. Well, some people at least. I think it's really funny that, like, the traitor reveal, it's like this evil is finally gone. We don't have to worry about the traitor anymore. It's over. And then literally 2 chapters later, it's like, all right, guys, so who is the vessel? And
this time we have 5 characters. We have so many different theories
but it's
now.
Also super fun, so.
Yes,
we have so many. And it could also be ones not actually in that panel, so that's a rule we're breaking, you know what I mean? They broke it with and technically have to be any.
Well, to be fair, I think all of the people in that panel are all of the Hishaku members who are currently there, who sort of have to be the vessel, but I don't know.
Yeah, if you have to be inside of the building, but I think you do have to be, so I think it would be one, but you never know.
Next podcast, not this one.
True.
But either way, we see that, of course, now, Aruha and Natsuki are getting ready to go through and attack Yura again, but we see the centipede start to coil around Yura's hand as he goes through, grasps his hand tight, and just proclaims the words centipede, as all around both Natsuki and Aruha, just the entire building just gets almost leveled in this horizontal direction, of course, due to centipede. And hearing this, Aruha finally puts 2 and 2 together. He looks at Natsuki, grabs his hair knot, and yanks him down. Which...
No, it's so funny, too, because you see the zoomed out panel first of them just... You see Aruha, like, wide eyes, like, oh, shit. And then you just see the zoomed out panel of the 2 of them suddenly on the floor. And then it's Aruha's hand in...
Yeah, and I just love, even though the panel is, like, really, really rough, like, Natsuki turns around like, hey, don't pull my hair, right? And, of course, then Aruha's like, wait a second, like, I suddenly realized how to evade it, like, that's where Chihiro got his centipede from and all of this various stuff. Like, it's so cool that Aruha is finally putting it together.
Uh-huh.
Which, I mean, peak fiction. What can I say? Just
right?
is what
Dude,
it is.
I love Aruha so much. Like, it is concerning how much I enjoy him a lot. He's like moving his way up my ring. Uh-oh.
Oh no. But yeah, either way, Yura's in just like, hey, the sword master, and he's like, I'm coming to kill you. As all of a sudden, we see that now with sort of Natsuki and Aruha a little bit out of commission, we see that all of a sudden, a door on the top level of the library bursts open. As Yura just thinks like, hey, the Shinichi will become mine completely. As Yura turns around, and we see Izami standing at the top of the staircase. As he just thinks like, hey, so is their intention to like rule the country or something like that? Like to rule the Shinichi, like I can only imagine the endless horrors that could lie beyond all of that pretty much, right? As pretty much we also cut back upstairs, Kasen is going all on about like, hey, the power of the Shinichi, he can't win, it's all okay. As Ichiki just thinks like, hey, when Kudo said that Izami was merely younger, he was just being humble. However, his sorcery is truly outstanding. He's like, Kudo, I know that when you said Izami's on another level, you meant on every single level. I know that he'll stop them. As we just get a full page spread to end off the chapter with Izami standing here, lightning crackling through his fingers, as he just says, don't worry, Rokuhira, you can rest in peace. And that's where we end chapter number 95 of Kagurabachi. Great chapter.
Yes, it's so good. I love Izami so much. I love and I love Hakuri, and Ichiki's chill like that. My girl Kiri's standing in the background. Love her too. Great stuff.
No, it's so awesome. I especially love this ending panel of Izami just standing here holding the lightning in his fingers and like one hand outstretched, getting ready to box with Yura. It's I just can't explain how cool this thing is. Like, I love this panel here.
It is good. It's really good. And the centipede panel too.
Oh yeah, and I mean, as far as like the art is rough in this chapter, it's definitely not rough on the level that next chapter is. But I also remember hearing a lot of people say whenever this chapter came out, like, it almost makes sense for how rough it is. It's like, oh man, the Magatsumi's power is like corrupting Aruha and all of these other characters in Yura. And like, I get that whole thing, but I do think the rough art sort of takes away a little bit from this chapter, but as we mentioned earlier, it's not something so severe. In the volume, it'll be fixed, and it'll sort of be just as it is.
Yeah. That page with Yura's hand, like, going down, and then the centipede is, like, swirling around it. It looks gorgeous.
Oh, like...
Page 15.
Yeah, and then we also just see, like, the plants behind it as well, and Yura's eyes just on the bottom of the page. It's... Hokuzono, man, you are just... I don't know what to say. I legitimately don't.
Right, it's so good. It's so good. All right. Do we have any concluding thoughts on these two chapters that we discussed?
Not really. Again, IQ did a really good job breaking all of those down there. But yeah, just good chapters, and I think these were some very nice combo chapters, sort of both do in one video, being the whole idea of like, hey, we get the traitor reveal, and it's just pretty nice to go through and just see that conclusion happen from start to finish and sort of go through the entire thing. And yeah, just good chapters, and I can't wait till we talk about Izami next time because, man, Izami's just so cool.
Yes, I'm in the same boat as you, I think, where talking about these two back-to-back specifically was actually really good to kind of like reflect on that reveal and all of those things. I think,
and especially now that it's been like 3 weeks to a month since these chapters came out, it really adds something just like taking a look at it in hindsight and being like, hey, not in the moment, but a few weeks later where we are able to fully gather our thoughts and not be like so hyper in the moment of like, this is great, this is a little middling. It does a very good job, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. Reflection is always a good thing. Well, I'm excited to talk about Azami as well. I think he is so cool. I love him so much. So that's going to be really fun.
For sure. I can't wait.
Then I reckon we can wrap this baby on up.
Man,
glow.
This was actually the first true Glowplasma and Calcan special, because last time we had special host guest Karasu come in, but not this time.
No. Mm-mm. It is the true glow cloud. Fuck. It is the true. The true GlowCal special has been put into the books. And now we're going to wrap it all up. Yes. So, that was chapter 94 and 95 of Kagurabachi. Pretty great stuff all around. You know how it is.
It's manga. How can it not be great? And also it's written by Takeru Hokuzono, the guy
this is
me
true.
And you both know and have had interactions with.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked to him so much in England and on airplanes, and
about
come
Irony.
back next week for Irony the Sword, and then the one after that, and then the one after that, and the one after that, and the
we're just gonna keep next week going. For the 9th Enchanted Blade. Yeah,
because it's true factual information that you're not gonna want to miss, and only we have it.
Only we have it. Like, this is legitimately
only us.
Inside scoop you guys cannot find anywhere else.
It's a crazy source, yeah. Because we got it from the man himself.
Yeah, it's like
the honey hoarder.
Like, if you want to go talk to Hokuzono and ask him about this, he may tell you, but like, we're sort of also contractually obligated to drip feed this through the next 10 episodes. So like, come back. That's all I'm saying.
This is so true. Well, this has been the Kamunabi Headquarters. Shout out to the Kagurabachi Dubs team. They're super duper cool. They do great work over there. And you can find our podcast, obviously, on this YouTube channel, but on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well. And if there's anywhere else you want us to put the podcast on, we can try to figure that out for you. Shout out to Calcan. Yeah.
That's you.
That's me, the host who hosted the whole time. It's a good job.
You did a good job. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, great. Yeah. I'm so good at this stuff. And then Glowplasma as well, my co-host for today.
Thank you.
Who helped me a little bit. He helped just a tad.
I didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do much at all. Actually, it was all me.
Yeah, just.
But shout out to Glow as well.
Next episode, it may just be the Calcan only episode. It'll just be like uploaded on her YouTube channel. That's where the Kamunabi Headquarters lives. Because if you remember, she owns the podcast. It was her mastermind plan.
Yeah, that's true. And Glow's the vessel for it. He keeps the barrier up.
Oh, where'd my large intestine go? No!
It's gone! No! Shoot. Another one's gone. Well, did I cover all the ground? Did I get everything?
I think you did. I think we're ready to see you guys next week.
See you guys next week. Thanks for watching the special episode, the best one ever.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks everybody who made it to the end of the video. My name's Karasu. I'd like to also give a thanks to Mikey, my editor, and big shout outs to Glowplasma and Calcan 7. Go ahead and go check out their channels. They do a lot of Kagurabachi stuff that's really cool. And big thanks to my friend Edo Serafino from Italy. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Till next time.